we start to look at things from a schema therapy perspective, each of us exists within what we call a multiplistic personality system. In other words, our personality is made up of multiple parts. We can hear this all the time in the general chit-chat we experience in the social settings that we're exposed to. For example, you've probably heard people say things like, I've been offered a job out west and there's a part of me that really wants to take it, but there's another part of me that's a little bit nervous about it too. This extremely common way of speaking is a fantastic example of the multiplistic personality. There are two parts of the person's personality system existing at the same time with opposing points of view on the situation that they're facing. Once we accept that this is the case for all of us, we can start to look at the different things we do in response to our thoughts and feelings as being tied to the many different parts that exist within our personality system. So how do we begin to identify these parts as we start to step into doing this type of work? Well, this is where we begin to connect with the different modes of behaviour. In essence, the different modes of behaviour that we can learn to identify within our personality system are basically the direct behavioural actions that a specific part of our personality is using in response to the current schema that's activated in our system. Living the life I want to live means being the person I want to be in the areas of life that are important to me, according to my true, authentic values and beliefs. And if you're someone who's thinking of doing this type of work, this is exactly the same for you. When we're able to actually live this way, then life becomes harmonious and balanced. We have a sense of belonging in the world. We feel securely attached to the people that are important to us. And we've got some pretty effective schemas that are working in our system. Unfortunately, if it was really this simple, we wouldn't need to step into the world of psychotherapy, counselling, coaching, and that billion-dollar industry of self-help books that's out there and available for everybody to use these days. In actuality, what gets in the way of living the life we want to live are the many different schemas we have present in our system and the different parts of our personality that react to their activation. When we integrate the skills of dialectical behaviour therapy with the understanding of personality we have from the theories of schema therapy, we can start to manage our behavioural responses in a way that opens up the possibility for significant behavioural change. However, changing modes of behaviour is actually not an easy thing to do. It involves building awareness for the different parts that are activated in our system and labeling them in a really non-judgmental way that allows us to unblend from their active presence within our personality system. This is something that's often referred to as cognitive diffusion. And the only way that I know to achieve this within our personality system is through the use of the DBT mindfulness skills. Practicing our ability to non-judgmentally observe and describe the different parts that are active within our personality system by identifying their words in our thoughts and acknowledging their emotional experiences in our feelings allows us to disconnect from the behavior. When done effectively, this opens the possibility to work with the part that's responding rather than giving the part the wheel to our bus and basically allowing it to take us in whatever direction it wants to go. When we can unblend from the part that's being activated, we can begin to identify the stories that are tied to these emotional responses. Using the skills of DBT allows us to stop and check the facts to see what's going on in actuality rather than our own personal reality that's connected to our childhood stories. When we're able to do this effectively, we're practicing the art of mode management, which is the essence of distress tolerance in DBT. Mode management is a skill that's absolutely essential if we're going to develop our ability to regulate our behavioral responses. It's also extremely important to point out that, much like our own personal schemas, there's no such thing as a bad part within our personality system. Each and every part and the modes of behavior that they develop to cope with our uncomfortable emotional experiences is an important and necessary part of our personality. We have to accept their presence within our system so we can work on teaching them how to cope in more effective ways. Accepting each and every part of our personality in this way is how we practice unconditional self-acceptance. We also have to remember that we don't only have parts of our personality that we're trying to manage their behaviors because of the ineffective outcomes they create. We also have parts that are behaving in ways that are extremely effective in achieving the outcome they're attempting to achieve. These parts fall into the general category of what we call the healthy adult modes of behavior, and it's incredibly important to learn the ways that we recognize and acknowledge these parts every single day to build motivation to continue living the life we want to live. In DBT, we do this through using the skill called paying attention to positive events. And modes of behavior fall into a number of different categories, and basically, depending on when you're watching this video, it's either going to be over the next few weeks, or if it's a little bit later on when you're taking a look around my YouTube channel and my website, we're going to explore each of the more common modes in more detail. So whenever it is, take some time to dig deeper into those modes that you think could be applicable to you based on the behavioral patterns that you're currently aware of. Go through the worksheets that are available on the pages of the website that's connected to this video. That's where you'll find all the links you need to get more information on each of the common modes that we discuss within this work. Now, keep in mind, these are not the only modes of behavior that we have in our system. They're just the most common ones that I've come across in my work as a psychotherapist, a counselor, and a behavior change coach. So if you don't find a mode that lines up with you and the way you think you're currently behaving, don't worry. It's completely okay for you to create one of your own. If you've got an opinion on this or anything else to do with modes of behavior, schema therapy in general, or the integration of DBT and our understanding of the multiplistic personality, leave a comment in the chat. I'd really like to hear your point of view. If you want to know more about the things that we talk about on this YouTube channel and the connected website, come join the conversation in our live online meetings that I facilitate each week on Zoom. I'll leave some links to those groups in the description below. And as always, if you like the content of this video, please subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and turn on those notifications to get all the latest from me and the Liberation Place. I hope this video gave you some insight for what modes of behavior are in terms of working with the different parts of our personality system. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Take care, be safe, and be well.